Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. नाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। Reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Chapter 4, Text 178. Purira prema praka Purira prema parakashtha karaha vichar alokika prema chitte lage chamatkar. Purira prema parakashtha karaha vichar alokika prema chitte lage chamatkar. Purira prema parakashtha karaha vichara alokika prema chitte lage chamatkar. Word to word meaning. Purira of Madhven Puri. Prema Parakashtha, the standard of intense love of Godhead. Karaha, just make. Vichara, judgment. Alaukika, uncommon. Prema, love of Godhead. Chitte, in the mind. Lage, strikes. Chamatkar, wonder. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed the standard of Madhven Puri's intense love before Nityananda Prabhu for judgment. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, all his loving activities are uncommon, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Indeed, one is struck with wonder to hear of his activities. Purport. When the living entity feels spiritual separation from Krishna, Krishna Viraha, he has achieved the prime success of life. When one becomes disinterested in material things, he is simply experiencing the other side of attraction for material things. However, feeling separation from Krishna and engaging in the service of the Lord to fulfill his mission constitute the best example of love of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to point out this intense love of Krishna exhibited by Srila Madhavendra Puri. All Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees later followed in the footsteps of Madhavendra Puri, serving the Lord without personal considerations. Chant prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So I humbly seek blessings at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas, His Grace Vrindavan Chari Prabhu, Maharaj Prabhu, Gaurang Smarna Prabhu, Shri Ram Raghav Prabhu, and all the assembled devotees, so that on this very auspicious day of disappearance day of Srila Madhavendra Puri, we can speak for glorification of Lord and His devotees, for purification of our heart, as a service to all devotees, and for benefit of everyone. Hare Krishna. So, so the glories of Madhavan Puri are unlimited, and and it's very difficult for a conditioned soul to be able to speak on such a transcendental personality and such a special topic. But repeating from the words of uh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Srila Prabhupada, we'll try to discuss something whatever is within our capacity. So, so we'll begin with a brief introduction. We can see in this beautiful verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This verse comes after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has elaborately, sitting at the holy place of Remuna, Chirchur Gopinath. He has elaborately discussed the pastime of Madhavan Puri, and after describing the entire pastime, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking this verse that Purira prema parakastha koroho vichar. That please, you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed the standard of Madhavan Puri's love before Nityan Prabhu for the judgment. That please now you start, judge this loving, uh, uh, the love of Srila Madhavan Puri for Krishna Alaukika prema chitte pabit dage chamatkar. And this love is so amazing that if we try to understand, Prabhupada's translation is that all his loving activities are uncommon. That is alaukika prem, chitte pabe chamatkar. Indeed, one is struck with wonder to hear of his activities. So as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, we'll try to understand Shripad Madhanpuri. First, we'll see some other verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita where we get some introduction of who is Madhanpuri. So, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, text chapter 9, text number 10. Jai Shri Madhavendra Puri Krishna Prema Pura Bhakti Kalpa Tarute Ho Prathama Ankura. So here the tree of Lord Chaitanya is described, and in that the beginning it is through Madhavenpuri. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining this tree, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Madhavenpuri, the storehouse of all devotional service unto Krishna. He is a desire tree of devotional service, and it is in him that the seed of devotional service first fructified. So this is the first introduction of Sri Madhavenpuri. Yeah, so I'll read the purport also. Sri Madhavenpuri, also known as Sri Madhavpuri, belonged to the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya and was a greatly celebrated sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the second disciplic descendant from Sri Madhavendrapuri. The process of worship in the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya was full of ritualistic ceremonies with hardly a sign of love of Godhead. Sri Madhavenpuri was the first person in that disciplic succession to exhibit the symptoms of love of Godhead, and first to write a poem beginning with the words Aideen and Dayadranath, O supremely merciful personality of Godhead. In that poem is the seed of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cultivation of love of Godhead. So in that way we can understand that Sri Madhavenpuri is the beginning of the love of God coming in the disciplic succession of Brahma, Madhav, Gaudiya. So very important personality. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is also mentioned in the previous chapters that how now Gaur Purnima is coming and we are all preparing for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explaining Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, he says that before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he sent his very dear associates. And the one most important personality he sent was Sripad Madhavenpuri. So it's very wonderful to discuss about Madhavenpuri before Gaur Purnima coming. So we understand the very root of Srila Prabhupada is saying the seed of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cultivation of love of Godhead is given by Sripad Madhavenpuri. We'll read another verse. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 9th chapter, 289. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada writes something interesting, so we'll just read this one more verse. This is a verse in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meeting a Sanodiya Brahmana in Mathura, and this Sanodiya Brahmana is seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love. Oh, okay, this is Ishwar Puri's god brother, Sri Rangapuri. Sri Rangapuri is telling to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is saying that your holiness is certainly related to Sri Madhavenpuri, without whom there is no fragrance of ecstatic love. So this is Sri Rangapuri, who is a disciple of Madhavenpuri. And he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in South India Yatra, and there he says this. Purport. This purport is interesting. So, purport. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that up to the advent of His Holiness Shripad Lakshmipati Tirtha, it was the system and disciplic succession of Madhvacharya to worship Lord Krishna alone. After Srila Madhavenpuri, worship of both Radha and Krishna was established. For this reason, Sri Madhavan Puri is accepted as the root of worship in ecstatic love. Unless one is connected in the disciplic succession of Madhavan Puri, there is no possibility of awakening the symptoms of ecstatic love. Rebol. So in that way we can understand the great glory and the brief understanding and introduction of Sripad Madhavan Puri, that who is he, such an important personality, and Prema Kalpataru. He is also he is explained to be uh, that the Kalpavriksha in a spiritual word. It's a very very special personality who descends in this world uh, and performs so many wonderful pastimes. Now we might have must have heard the pastime of Sripad Madhavan Puri, which we will try to revise. But we will revise this pastime through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly, when he went to Khirshor Gopinath temple, there he personally sat, he narrated the entire pastime. And from this verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya chapter 4, text 178 till text 203. This is the entire section in which we'll try to focus today. In this whole section, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after completing the whole narration, he is in great ecstasy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, practically revising the whole Leela and explaining very deep glories of Sripad Madhavan Puri. And simultaneously, we'll try to see from Srila Prabhupada's purport, you know, that what is that, especially mentioned in this verse, and this purport itself, that alokika prem chitte lage chamatkar. What is that special love of Madhavan Puri which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to emphasize? Right? And Srila Prabhupada's purport to this verse itself tells that. And with having that understanding, we'll read the further verses. So we'll little bit discuss on Srila Prabhupada's purport to the verse we just now read. To understand the Madhavan Puri's love of Krishna, and by that we can understand what is love of Krishna. By this we can appreciate Sripad Madhavan Puri fully, and we can understand the special contribution of Sripad Madhavan Puri, and hence special contribution of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As Gaur Purnima is coming, we can understand so many personalities uh, gave so many things, but what is that special contribution of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in each and every one of our life and in the whole world, as we hear uh, in Sachishrutastakam, Kurute Surasam Jagataha Jivanam. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance has created a special rasa in the life of all the people in this world. Without Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, practically the whole world is vacant. There's no rasa. It's all, mundane rasa is simply suffering. Chappal sukh. And ultimately it's suffering, because that sukh which comes simply leads to attachment to material things, and that leads to bigger misery. So hence it's very dangerous. So hence there is no rasa, there is only suffering and suffering, and some so-called sukh which increases your attachment to suffering. That's all. So it's very very horrible world. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uh, mission introduces a very ecstatic Keval Ananda Kanda. Sab Avatar Shara Shramani Keval Ananda. He is given Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So here Nitai and Gauranga are talking in this verse. Gauranga is speaking to Nitai. And we can imagine how they are relishing the glories of Sripad Madhavan Puri. You know, how much Nitai Gauranga together relishing the glories of Madhavan Puri. And hence so important to celebrate. Today, before I forget, that today on this Disappearance Day right now in Shantipur, a huge mega festival goes on. Because Advaita Acharya Prabhu's spiritual master is Sripad Madhavan Puri. So since Advaita Acharya Prabhu's time, this festival is going on of distribution of prasadam on Madhavan Puri's disappearance. And And last many years, ISKCON devotees are doing it in a very, very massive and big way. So right now that festival is also going on, Shantipur festival on this occasion. So, so now we will try to understand what is this love which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining through Srila Prabhupada's purports. So purport of Srila Prabhupada. When the living entity feels spiritual separation from Krishna, Krishna Viraha, he has achieved the prime success of life. So in this purport, Prabhupada is telling the primary thing to learn from Madhavendra Puri's life. So prime success of life is to attain Krishna Vira, feelings of love of Krishna in feelings of separation, right? That is the highest success. Now, what is this Krishna Viraha Bhav and how it is expressed by a devotee? This is there in this purport and this whole verses which you have taken, 178 to 203. What is this special, Krishna Viraha Bhav, the highest love of Krishna, and how it is cultivated? That secret is here. So Prabhupada says further. When one becomes disinterested in material things, he is simply experiencing the other side of attraction for material things. That means just becoming detached, from the or becoming saying that oh, this material world is so horrible, so useless. Prabhupada is saying that is another side of attraction only. But sometimes one may keep criticizing material things, this, and that's the only topic of discussion. Just like Gyanis, many times Gyanis just talk about miseries of sense gratification. But Prabhupada is saying that is another side of attraction for material things. Because there is attraction, one is always speaking about it in a negative way. Right? But however, devotee is actually instead of talking, you know, that subject more, a devotee is absorbed. It's because of higher taste. He is absorbed in Krishna. So what is Prabhupada saying? However, feeling separation from Krishna and engaging in service of the Lord to fulfill his mission constitute the best example of love of Krishna. So what is love of Krishna? Is that a devotee feels, and this we'll see in Madhavendra Puri's Leela. Just trying to get introduction to this through this purport. So devotee feels such intense separation from Krishna that he wants to be with Krishna. Right? He can't be away from Krishna. And the way he is always with Krishna in that separation is that he engages in the service of the Lord to fulfill his mission. What is Krishna's desire? And in executing Krishna's mission, Krishna's desire, a devotee experiences, association of Krishna. Right? So this constitute. So that's why feeling of separation. How intense is the feeling of separation? That is known by how intense is one's absorption in engagement of mission of Lord. Right? That is the point. And that's what that is the intensity. The intensity of love of God or intensity of that really I am missing Krishna is how much he is engaged in service to Krishna. And that's what Prabhupada further says. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to point out this intense love of Krishna exhibited by Srila Madhavendra Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, here in this verse, Alokika Prem. So what is that intense love? Is this point? And then Prabhupada says further, all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees later followed in the footsteps of Madhavendra Puri, serving the Lord without personal consideration. So this is the special contribution. Because I was yesterday just contemplating on this Gaur Purnima is coming. So especially what is that contribution of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in our lives, in the life of the whole world, and in the life of even the philosophy of the whole world. So many philosophies are there. We find that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brings this very unique thing of love for Krishna without any personal consideration. And in this world, there are so many so-called spiritual, sentiments. But we find that always there is personal consideration, either of the body. Some gross organizations may just talk of you know, if you do good, you get good. It's very gross bodily. Or it is subtle, or it is very subtle. But it's all personal considerations, right? Even up to the extent of, someone saying that I have nothing to do with this world, I just want moksha, freedom from the miseries and liberation, just moksha. But because I want moksha, there is personal condition. It's all about me. It's nothing about Krishna. And if Krishna is going to help me get moksha, okay, let me do devotional service. And in that way, I'll get moksha. But here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, and Madhavendra Puri's teachings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here glorifying and teaching us through Madhavendra Puri is is serving the Lord without personal consideration. Whether I uh, whether I succeed, not succeed, Krishna should be happy, right? So this is the real love of Lord. This is real love. So we'll try to understand now this. Having made this point, we'll try to understand from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's verses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is practically complete ecstasy. He is now going to speak the glories of Madhavendra Puri from this verse onwards. So text 179. Is all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking all these verses. परम विरक्त मुनि सर्वत्र उदासीना ग्राम वार्ता भय द्वितीय संगहीना ग्राम वार्ता भय द्वितीय. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued. Sri Madhavendra Puri used to remain alone. He was completely renounced and always very silent. He was uninterested in anything material, and for fear of talking about mundane things, he always lived without a companion. Right? It's very interesting. Grama Varta Bhai. Right. So obviously I was meditating on this point that then I was just feeling that because during that time, Madhanpuri's time, there's no devotees, no? Then there will be Grama Varta. Right? And hence Madhanpuri's step is perfectly perfect. But we can't do this. We can't follow the great acharyas who are because for us we have to understand for Madhanpuri his mind is pure. So even if he is alone, he is always Krishna conscious. Whereas if we try to imitate this, that okay, maybe Gram Bharta Bhai, if I let me remain alone, but we'll not be alone. We have a most materialistic mind who is filled with Gram Varta. And hence we won't be able to get away. So for us the solution is that we remain away from Grama Varta. Right? We remain with devotees, and with devotees, although there we may not be getting association of like devotees who are completely in ecstatic love of Krishna, but even when we are with devotees, our friends, you know, we focus on remaining away from Grama Varta and talking about Krishna because that is the essential point why Madhavendra was alone. Right? That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu points out that he was alone because he didn't want to talk to Jalpa, mundane things. And then Madhavendra continues. Hena jana gopalera agya mitra paya sahasra krosa asi bule chandana magiya. After receiving the transcendental orders of Gopal, this great personality traveled thousands of miles just to collect sandalwood by begging. So, so we'll discuss little past time, but focus on what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is emphatically speaking in these verses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now going to glorify Madhavendra Puri like anything on a particular theme. So he's saying that so we can see that the love of Madhavendra Puri is so great that 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 when Madhavendra Puri was chanting at Govindakund, Gopal came into his vision and told that actually I am hiding here and I have been waiting for you. Like that, Gopal said to Madhavendra Puri that I was waiting for you. So we can understand the real love of Madhavendra Puri for Gopal. But then, but then, further Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will explain. But then Gopal wanted the whole world to understand the glories of Madhavendra. And because of that, Gopal gave instruction to Madhavendra that you go and you bring, you bring Chandan. You know. And here it is saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is focusing on that after getting the Agya Amrit, that is the nectar of instruction, nectar of order, order of Shri Gopal Dev. So we can understand the instruction of Lord or Lord's instruction comes to the Lord's representative. So all these instructions of spiritual master and Krishna is Amrit. That gives us life. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu using the word. Hena Jan Gopalera Agya Amrit Paya. He took that as Amrit, although it was very heavy. It was not an easy instruction. Go to Puri and bring Chandan. It's like uh, in Vrindavan and such a old age, you have to go. But he was so happy. Sahasra Krosa Asi Bude Chandanamagya. This great personality traveled thousands of miles just to collect sandalwood by begging. भूखे रहे तबु अन्न मागिया न खाया हे न जन चंदन भार वही लैया जाया. Although Madhavenpuri was hungry, he would not beg food to eat. So what kind of sacrifice? So this is without personal consideration. He's just thinking how to make Krishna happy. This renounced person carried a load of sandalwood for the sake of Sri Gopal. See, such an old man, completely renounced, and he was carrying a huge load. And how much load? Next verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is further telling. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is emphasizing on Madhavenpuri's serious, sincere, hard work. He was ready to do for pleasure of Lord. मणि का चंदन तोला अभिषेक कर्पूर गोपाले परैबो ए आनंद प्रचुर. See, very important. Without considering his personal comforts, Madhavan Puri carried one mound, about 82 pounds of sandalwood, and 20 tolas, about 8 ounces of camphor, to smear over the body of Gopal. This transcendental pleasure was sufficient for him. So he was carrying such a heavy load, but for him, that load was not heavy because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Gopale paraiba ei ananda prachur. In his heart, the bliss was that today the Lord will get nice and so he was just ecstatic. So devotees' happiness is that Krishna will be happy. And for that, if I have to go through so much difficulty, problems, you know, how does it matter? This is actually love of God, right? So we can understand, and that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Try to understand what is this love of God, by hearing about Sri Madhavenpuri. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is further going to speak on the kind of sacrifices of Madhavenpuri for the pleasure of Lord. And all these sacrifices becomes real when the focus is Krishna's pleasure, right? In this world, we can find so many people do sacrifices. There are many sacrifices, but we don't find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or any great acharya glorifying that. People can do sacrifice because ultimately that sacrifice is meant for some selfish motives. Some gross or subtle somewhere. Somewhere it will be like his name will be popular or something. Right. But here, Madan Puri, because his sacrifice is simply for Krishna's pleasure, so that is very glorious. Right. So that's why not only sacrifice is important, but for what purpose is more important. Right. People may fast and die, but sometimes for political reasons, right? Sometimes, but what's the use? Right. So that is not important. Important is pleasure of Lord. उत्कलेरा दानी राखे चंदन देखिया तहाँ एड़ाइला राजपत्र तहाँ एड़ाइला राजपत्र देखाइया So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is even emphasizing on the details of kind of sacrifices Madan Puri did. Since there were restrictions against taking the sandalwood out of Orissa province, the toll official confiscated the stock. But Madhaven Puri showed him the release papers given by the government and consequently escaped difficulties. Rewards. Right. So sometimes, I was just thinking that, how Srila Prabhupada has also given us a similar instruction of the Lord, right? By Prabhupada's grace, we have received the same instruction, like Gopalera Agya Amrit. Similarly, we have got Chaitanyera Agya Amrit from from Srila Prabhupada, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, and Srila Prabhupada, and in the disciplic succession, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the same order to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is giving the same order to us. So, and in that order, executing that order, there will be so many different varieties of difficulties. Important point is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making note of each and every trouble a devotee undergoes, and wherever he is ready to take any sacrifices. So there were toll officers putting restriction and everything, and and by showing the documents given by the king of the Puri, that's whole description is there in the before. You know, Madhavan was released, and with such great difficulties he passed through. Next verse is even more special. Malecha desha dur patha jagati apara के मते चंदन निभा नहीं ए विचारा. So this is love of God. Madhavan Puri was not at all anxious during the long journey to Vrindavan through the provinces governed by Muslims and filled with unlimited numbers of watchmen. So he was not thinking how I will take. He was just happy. I'll take to till Vrindavan because on the way there is whole Malicha Para, and there were so many uh, dacoits. It's like okay, government toll officers you can show the paper, but after some time if the dacoits come, how you'll what you'll do with them, You know, tigers will also come, but more dangerous than is these people who are envious. These envious people will create such difficulty, filled with unlimited numbers of watchmen. But he was not thinking all these things. He was not thinking what difficulties will come. This is called love of Krishna. A devotee has full faith, and this is the whole pastime of Madhavan. You can find a devotee has full faith that if Lord's order is there, let me just go out and execute. We can see this in the pastime of Vasudev also. That how Vasudev, when he was given instruction by Krishna, that take me to Vrindavan. Vasudev gave birth. Krishna appeared there, and then as soon as he appeared, Krishna immediately said, "So now take me to Vrindavan." So now Vasudev was he had two shackles. One shackle was he was bound his hand and legs. Another was that he also had given promise, a subtle shackle. He's given a promise to Kamsa that I will give all my sons to you. Right? But Vasudev just understanding that Krishna's order, let me just do it. Forget about all this. He was not even considering all these shackles. And because he was ready, he just took Krishna and shackles were open. He was not thinking, okay, but there are so many gates and so many guards. Just let me do. So in that way, this is a devotee. He has full faith that it will happen. He doesn't keep asking hundreds of questions. A devotee just goes on in the mission. And so he was not at all anxious. संगे एक वट नहीं घटी दान दीते तथापि उत्साह बड़ा चंदन लैया जाइते. Although Madhavenpuri did not have a farthing with him, he was not afraid to pass by the toll officers. His only enjoyment was in carrying the load of sandalwood to Vrindavan for Gopal. He was not thinking कैसे ज़्यादा पैसा लेके आते हैं कुछ बीच में bribe दे देंगे. He was not he was not taking shelter of or anything else. He's just taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna will help. And his ecstasy was that that his only enjoyment was in carrying the load of sandalwood to Vrindavan for Gopal. So devotee's only enjoyment is to struggle for Krishna's pleasure. Right? As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that तुम्हारा सेवाए दुख होए जब तो सेई तो परम सुख सेवा सुख दुख परम संपदा नाशाय अविद्या दुख. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that the dukh in your seva is highest ecstasy, you know, and that's what Madhaven Puri is personification, right? He's just in ecstasy, taking all this trouble in such an old age. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining this is called intense love. Next verse. Praghad premera e swab prabhav premera e swabhav achara निज दुख विघ्न देरा न करे विचार. Now this verse and purport is very special. This is the natural result of intense love of Godhead. The, the devotee does not consider personal inconveniences or impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, this is the meaning of pure love of God. Purport. Very important and very, very deep purport. It is natural for those who have developed intense love for Krishna not to care for personal inconvenience and impediments. Such devotees are simply determined to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or His representative, the spiritual master. So we can see the pure devotees means we can see even today, we can see obviously in Prabhupada's whole life, right? You know, a perfected pure devotee means his just whole life is simply focused on executing the orders of spiritual master, never thinking about, okay, and Prabhupada never thought that, okay, now I have executed, अभी तो काफी mission बढ़ गया, अभी थोड़ा relax करते हैं. Till last breath, because that's the nature of intense love, that one wants to continue serving Krishna more and more and more. And that is how, you know, the entrance to Goloka is there. Because Goloka Vrindavan, we don't go to go and relax. Right? The mood is to serve. The service attitude keep increasing day by day by day. You know, right? And we see, and that we can see today, it's not that only in Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada empowered his disciples to become so many pure devotee disciples, whom you can see in their lives. As the day and age is passing by, we see their dedication, commitment, and services and responsibilities increasing and increasing. Right? Not that they are, um, because that's the nature of love. The nature of love is one don't want to have personal conveniences, but one wants to dedicate more and more for the mission. And such devotees are simply determined to execute the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead or His representative, the spiritual master. In all circumstances, even amidst the greatest dangers, they undeviatingly carry on with greatest determination. This definitely proves the intense love of the servitor. So this is the proof of love, right? That how in the obstacles, in the great difficulty also one says, I'm going to continue. You know, right? One doesn't just give up, that it's becoming too much. Now let me just relax. It's becoming too much. Here is an opportunity to serve. So a devotee doesn't see difficulties, he sees opportunity to serve. Prabhupada said this. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tattenukampam susamekshamana. Those who seriously desire to get free from the clutches of material existence, who have developed intense love for Krishna, are worthy candidates for going back home, back to Godhead. An intense lover of Krishna does not care for any number of material discomforts, scarcity, impediments, or unhappiness. So that's not what he keeps talking about. Intense love of Krishna, that there's so much scarcity, there is so much discomfort. I have to go through all this difficulty, so many impediments, what to do, so much unhappiness. He is talking about that how there is so much opportunity to serve. to expand the mission, to do something wonderful, to spread, to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by spreading his mission. It is said that when one sees apparent unhappiness or distress in a perfect Vaishnava, if at all you see Arey, but Vaishnava may be unhappy sometimes. Prabhupada is making an important point. If you see any unhappiness or distress, if you see some Vaishnava having that, you know, it is not at all unhappiness for him. Rather, it is transcendental bliss. Right? Because a devotee's unhappiness is only in fulfilling the instruction of Lord, not for his personal convenience and convenience. He is just thinking, oh, this is happening. And because that is also coming out of love for Krishna, it is a bliss. In Shastastrika, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also instructed, Ashdashyava padaratam pinashtumam. The intense lover of Krishna has never deviated from his service despite all difficulties and impediments brought before him. So, and this is the intense love of Krishna. Alokika prem chitte lage chamatkar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking, Gauranga is speaking to Nitai, that please consider this love of Sri Madhavendra Puri, which is so special, that one is not considering himself anything. I'll just read translation of next few verses and conclude. Shri Gopal this next verse is very important. Ei tar gaad prema loka dikhaite, Gopal tare agya dila chandananite. Shri Gopal wanted to show how intensely Madhavendra Puri loved Krishna. Therefore, he asked him to go to Nilachal to fetch sandalwood and camphor. So Gopal's intention was to show to everyone what is meaning of love for Krishna. Love of Krishna is there in the heart of Madhavendra Puri. But now to show, this is how one can understand. Bahu parishrame chandana remuna nila ananda badila mane dukh na gadila. With great trouble and after much labor, Madhavendra Puri brought the load of sandalwood to Remuna. However, he was still very pleased. He discounted all the difficulties. Right? So this is, and to show this kind of intense love, Gopal gave this instruction to show to all of us. We have to learn today on this auspicious, because disappearance and appearance are the same, for Acharya, and hence today on this day, actually Madhavendra Puri's mercy is so much there. So you can pray at his lotus feet for this kind of intense love, a drop of this kind of intense love for Krishna, where we can begin uh, to sacrifice for the pleasure of Krishna, feeling great gratitude to what we have received and reciprocate by taking some trouble for the mission of the Lord. Right? And and further Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes on to explain uh, in great ecstasy. And after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about how Srila Madhavendra Puri left this world, speaking one particular shloka. And Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, Ei shloka kahiya chena Radha Thakurani, tar kripaye sphure ache Madhavendra Vani. A special shloka with reciting which Madhavendra Puri left this world. Today on this disappearance day, you can remember this. And this was spoken directly by Srimati Radharani, and it manifests in the manifest in the words of Madhavendra Puri. Kiba Gaurachandra iha kare aswadana, iha asadete ar nahi chautha jana. There is no fourth person who can relish this verse, or has tasted the poetry of. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has tasted the poetry of this verse. No fourth man is capable of understanding it. Who are the three people? Srimati Radharani, Madhavendra Puri, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna? No. Krishna, if he takes the mood of Radharani, then yes. Else, no. Right? So that is the position of this particular verse, which Madhavendra Puri recited. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking. Sheshakale ei shloka पठिते पठिते सिद्धि प्राप्ति हैला पुरीरा श्लोकेरा सहिते. So this is the shloka with which on this auspicious day of disappearance, Madhavenpuri went back to Godhead. Madhavenpuri recited this verse again and again at the end of his material existence. Thus uttering this verse, he attained the ultimate goal of life. And the shloka, Ai Deen Dayadra Nath Hai Mathura Nath Kadavalokya Se Hridayam Twad Aloka Kataram Daita Bhramyati Kim Karomi Aham. O my Lord, O most merciful Master, O Master of Mathura, when shall I see you again? Because of my not seeing you, my agitated heart has become unsteady. O most beloved one, what shall I do now? Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further reciting, it is explained by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concluded the narration right here. And then after that he went into complete ecstasy. He couldn't even recite the full verse. He just kept saying, I deen, I deen, I deen. And he just, all the ecstatic symptoms manifested on his body. And he started dancing in a great love. So in that way we can understand Madhavan Puri's love is so intense, so deep. And the very root, we can pray at his lotus feet, for a drop of that love. And that love in our lives will be exhibited, can be exhibited, we can understand by how we dedicate. So let us appreciate today Madhavan Puri by appreciating his dedication, the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified Madhavan Puri. Let us appreciate and understand. And with that, pray at his lotus feet that we may also develop some sincere dedication for following and fulfilling the instructions of Shri Gopal coming through the spiritual master, and in that way dedicate our life fully for pleasure of Krishna without personal consideration. Shripad Madhavendra Puri ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Fasting. Shri Rangpuri. See, this is what this is obviously a philosophical truth that, and Prabhupada gives with very clear understanding that how the worship of Krishna, Prabhupada makes it even more clear that before Lakshmipati Tirtha, or before Madhavan Puri actually, there is only worship of Krishna. The Radha Krishna is not worship is not there. Hmm. That is the love of God. No, there is no symptoms of love of God. Okay, from Adi Lila. Madhya Lila verse. This is the thing that. That it was the system, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that up to the advent of His Holiness Shripad Lakshmipati Tirth, it was a system in disciplic section Madhvacharya to worship Lord Krishna alone. This one, or previous purport, Adi Leela purport, in that it says, the the process of worship in the disciplic section of Madhvacharya was full of ritualistic ceremonies with hardly a sign of love of Godhead. This is the purport. Hmm? No? और आगे, okay, और आगे. After Srila Madhavan Puri, worship of both Radha and Krishna was established. For this reason, Sri Madhavan Puri is accepted as the root of worship in ecstatic love. Unless one is connected to the disciplic section of Madhavan Puri, there is no possibility of awakening of symptoms of ecstatic love. Hmm. Yeah. So ecstatic love of Braja is not accessible without Madhavan Puri and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, the only Only other ecstatic love of Vraja is not available, right? And that's what we understand. Vraja, Vraja Bhakti is not available without without this. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.